Hi everyone, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Amber.
And we're
Witches Talking Tarot.
And today we're going to be talking about the most ancient, the most powerful Earth Mothers.
Yes.
They give us everything that we need to survive. I mean, they
give us
really
life.
do. They give us life itself.
They do.
And Earth Mothers are such an important aspect in many cultures all over the world.
Absolutely.
And I love that. I love that so much. Of course, we have our Earth
I love
gods.
the respect given.
Yes. And of course, we have our Earth gods, but
mostly
really.
so the ancient people associated the Earth with goddess,
yes,
and the sky with God, and gave it even in it's funny because when I was doing this research, I'd come upon a statement that said I think there's some kind of Arabic wedding or some kind of Middle Eastern culture in their wedding ceremony. Maybe it was Asian. I apologize, guys. I didn't think I'd be mentioning it, but it says you are my earth and I am your heaven. That's what the man says to his bride.
And the wedding ceremony. And call Drogo my sun and stars. I don't remember what the fuck the other thing said. Moon?
Yeah. You're my moon. You're my sun and stars. Yeah. She was the moon.
And
it's beautiful. And it was long before I ever saw Game of Thrones, I had written a poem that was talking about it was I am the moon and you are the sun. Yeah. Anyway, there's so much that goes into the celestial bodies. I realize what the problem with the lighting is.
Oh, okay.
There's a strip of sunlight that just keeps that's blowing.
It made it so it was the opposite way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just saw
there we go. There we go.
Blowing
and but anyway.
Okay. Is that better?
Much better.
Okay, cool. I was I saw that the sun changed and the AC is blowing the curtains. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, y'all.
The Earth goddesses. Of course, everybody knows, if you don't mind. I was just going to start with Gaia because I think she may be one of the most commonly known in the West. Yes. You know, everybody knows. Well, they teach in school Greek mythology and Roman mythology, but they don't really go into. Well, I don't mind that they teach it because
I know you don't.
That's where I learned, but they don't teach any of the other gods.
Well, most of it's not written down because the Hellenics are in history a more recent where. A lot of people think of them as older, but the reason we have their literature is because
the philosophers and everybody,
because everybody was writing things down. They had written language by then. When Danu and Mokash and Yord were celebrated, religion was by way of mouth.
I think
there wasn't writing
in school. I think they mentioned some of the Egyptian,
which also they had written down. Exactly.
But I don't think other than Hellenic and Greek. I think those are the only two.
Yeah. In art, I do remember we went over this whole section about Egyptian art. I had totally forgotten about that.
Right.
Egyptian we did sarcophagus
and Greek. I think those are the ones that are really
because they were written down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because there's not much that they
brought
can
over
go
to the West.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it had and I mean we find older writings in Mesopotamia and of the ancient sea scrolls and things like that. But for cultures that weren't writing things down, we just have what's written after they it was once people were oh, we need to record this. And
I mean, I think a lot of Chinese mythology was also written down, but I did not learn about that in school. It was Egyptian and Greek
because that's what was brought over to the West. And I think it's because of the influence on the church that the Roman culture had. Because I mean, think about it. It's the Roman Catholic Church. You know what I mean? So there's all that influence on Western life. And I don't know what it's like elsewhere. So if you listen to us and you're not from the West like we are, what did you learn about other cultures, religions in school? I am curious because we truly only really learn about the Greeks and the Hellenic, or the Greeks and the Romans, or the Hellenics in general, and the Abrahamics over here, with the exception of some curriculums also teach about the Egyptians to go along with the history
It
course.
it wasn't as in depth, the Egyptian one, as the
Exactly,
Hellenic
yeah,
one, but it
no, I
was
remember
definitely
that.
touched
Yeah.
on. And I loved it. The Egyptian one was
Oh,
one of my
great,
favorites
yeah.
because it's fucking gorgeous. I mean,
Oh,
you
I
see
love
the
that
gold
art.
and the
Yes.
art and all of that. And I mean, you
Oh.
could argue, you know, Hellenic art is beautiful too,
Oh, yeah.
in its own separate, smaller.
Oh,
way,
all art is
if you
beautiful.
catch my drift.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's all like art unto itself is beautiful because it conveys so much about the culture that it was created within. And that is why we do have, you know, what we have left of goddesses like Mokash and Danu, because most of it is from like monuments that were created for them.
Yeah. And I mean, even in you know, Greek, I mean, I want to go to Athens so fucking bad to visit the monuments and the things. Oh, I wish. But anyway, so I mentioned Gaia just because I think because of the curriculum that we grew up with, specifically in the West, I think a lot of people recognize the name Gaia. And she is the Hellenic earth goddess. And she she mated with Uranus, the sky, which is like you mentioned, a lot of the earth goddesses are mated with or paired with the sky, which I love.
And it makes sense.
It does.
It really does. Because like when you think about it, there's a lot of ancient creation myths, like the ones that came prior to like these gods that we're talking about, the Hellenic gods, like when we go back, like way back, the beginnings of the creation of Mesopotamian and things
Those
like
are
that, right?
So ancient.
They're super ancient, right? And they have creation myths that you can find where it talks about the god up in the sky throwing lumps of himself down to
Kronos,
the mother.
Or not Kronos. I mean, how the fuck was Aphrodite created? Yes, Kronos.
Well, but like, because like stories of the sky god throwing pieces of himself down into the earth to be fertilized by the earth and grown into people and crops and things like that. And these are the most ancient.
I'm just blown away because of our universe episode, and
I know, that's why I was like, oh, I'm be talking about
we
this
aliens.
I knew it. Like, yeah, like this is because in the Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, I love that fucking book, and it talks about the very oldest religions, like that were written down with cuneiform language, kind of old religions, and that is what their creation stories are: is sky gods throwing their bodies down to the Mother Earth for her to create life from what they throw down of themselves. So, like when you talk about she creates it all, we talk about the perfect pairing of the sky and the earth. Like humans have always seen it that way,
absolutely,
since the beginnings of religion.
So Gaia, from the research that we've done, seems to be the only one with the super in-depth, like
having specific myths revolving around her.
But she
involvement in the mythology of things.
Well, I want to categorize her in this earth goddess, even though technically Gaia is a Titan.
Well,
she gave birth
the
to
Titans are the gods.
They are, you know,
they're primordial. It's like the Kaliak. If I mean, the Kaliak is a goddess. The Hellenics may have called Gaia something else, but she was, she was primordial. She came before the Hellenic gods. But that doesn't mean she's not a goddess.
Older. So we know her as Gaia,
goddess, even though like they want to call her a Titan. She's still a goddess.
Well, and we know her as Gaia, but in the research that I did, like you said, she comes from a much more ancient religion or mythology or lore, whatever you want to call it, because like you said, the Hellenics are newer. They're not the newest, I mean, but they are definitely newer when it comes to gods, which explains why they're so well known. So she does come from even older lore, which brings us to, I know that you really want to talk about Mocha.
Well, I mean, I
know she's older, right?
She is, she is a very old goddess. I mean, I think Gaia possibly, because she did come from pre-Hellenic lore.
Gaia.
I don't know if Mokash is older in belief systems than Gaia is, because of the fact that Gaia came from further places east.
Mm-hmm.
Mokosh is a very old goddess. She's celebrated in the Slavic pantheon. And like, unlike a lot of the, well, I say a lot of, we're going to talk about 5 main goddesses today. And the 2 others that I want to talk about, you know, they might be known by other names, but Mokosh throughout all the Slavic lands seems to keep her name of Mokosh.
Mm-hmm.
The spelling sometimes changes because of
Right.
different like languages, you know, but it seems to like, so sometimes it's like Mokosh, sometimes it's Mokosz, but you know, it's pretty standardized, which is for the older gods, like we talk about, that's kind of, or not so much the older gods, but the ones that aren't written down as much, that were passed by word of mouth from people coming together community wise and like exchanging goods and having celebrations together, things like that. And so like the names are a little bit different region to region. Like Marsana she's got like 8 different fucking names, you know, throughout the different Slavic lands. But Mokosh seems to have the same name.
Can I mention something that just occurred to me, which may sound ridiculous? So hope you can help me put it into words. In the Bible, there's Mother Mary. I mean, to me, that she gave birth to God. Gaia gave birth to the gods or the Titans. You know, it follows that same line of different lore, different mythology, but it's the mother. That, you know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense.
You are. Yeah, no, I see that.
And she's the mother that brought him to earth, not necessarily.
Well, and would it be Mary, like, so we're talking Mary, Jesus's mother, right?
Yes.
But what about Mary's mother, Mary, who also had a virgin birth and gave birth to that which gave birth to the gods?
Right. And I feel like,
you know, Jesus.
Gaia and Mary, like now as I'm thinking about it, I mean, she gave birth to Kronos. She gave birth to the king of the gods. Mary gave birth to Jesus, the king of kings.
Well, and I'm going like, Jesus is technically a demigod, right?
Right,
God
literally.
is his dad, and Mary's supposed to be a human being, right?
Right.
So then Mary's mother would be the equivalent of Mokosh and Gaia and Danu.
Because there's 3 of them. There's 3 motherfucking Marys, you know?
Yeah, there are 3 Marys, but the first Mary that gave birth to the Mary that gave birth to the demigod Jesus, she would be like the Earth mother.
Yes,
the mother
exactly.
Earth.
So like the point of that, me mentioning that, is like the pattern falls in all were even Christianity or Abrahamic religions, whatever.
Because Christianity took it all from the rest of
Literally. So Mokosh,
because they are mostly the newest. The Abrahamic gods are the mostly newest.
The newest, yeah.
But yeah, like Mokosh, her name means moist earth, and she is associated with bees and mushrooms. And we've talked about the bees and the mushrooms and how life would not exist without them. Like Earth would not be a livable place without them. So when you think about the Earth Mother being associated with not just being the fertile earth and water, because like her name is moist earth, it's not dry earth. Her name like literally equates to moist earth. Sorry, listeners who don't like the word moist. It doesn't mean damp though. Right. But like she is the fertile earth, she is the moist earth, and the god Rod threw his being down into her for her to create life out of in one of the oldest creation stories of the Slavic world. And, you know, I find it beautiful that the Mother Earth has been worshipped from the get-go, like from the creation of the religion.
In all of them. Sorry, I just have to find what okay, sorry. You said what her name meant, and I was like, hold on, I gotta find what this person's name meant, because I know it means something. But go ahead, continue. That's what I'm
you're good. I just like, I love that, because the more I learn about things, the more associations make sense to me, you know? And so like it made sense to me that Mokosh being a weaver of life, right? Because she is the Earth Mother, who is the mother of all mothers. And so she is associated with spiders, right? Because she's one of the weavers.
I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna sing that song.
Oh God, yeah. Go for it.
We Arachnia weaves and she weaves so well. I love that song. But anyway, she is the weaver, like you said.
Yeah. But she is the weaver. She weaves the patterns of life. And so she's associated with the spider. But she is the moist earth. So she's associated with the waters of life and the fertile lands. And because of that, she's associated with the honeybee, because the honeybee makes the fertile lands like work. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, I find that kind of beautiful, and something I've told Maddie, and I don't talk about it much because it probably makes me sound a little crazy, but you know, when it like there are no written writings that can be found about Mokosh. Like there aren't any stories that mostly can be found about Mokosh other than her being the fertile earth, the moist earth that is the mother of all things. But a lot of her associations that have to do with both plants and animals are very similar to Baba Yaga, who was demonized by the church as the Slavic witch of the woods. But in a lot of the stories, Baba Yaga has bees that are working for her. In pictures of Baba Yaga, she's got mushrooms around her, just like things that are associated with Mokosh. She has stables of horses that pop up in the stories, like she has special magical horses. Mokosh is associated with horses, and I truly believe that the Slavic lands were the last ones to be taken over. Like that's why they're not the Roman Catholic Church; they are the Eastern Orthodox Church, which we have one like right around the corner.
Do we?
Yeah, I had
Is it
no
beautiful?
idea. The art is beautiful. Like,
I cannot lie. Catholic and Jewish.
And this is the Eastern Orthodox Catholics.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking
their
beautiful.
art is gorgeous. Their churches are gorgeous. They go all the fuck out.
I kind of want to go, but like they were, my family was showing me their website because my husband's a jokester, and he's like, I don't want to wake your mom up early tomorrow morning to take her to church for Mother's Day, because we have this Eastern Orthodox church that they and it's called like Our Church of Eternal Sorrow or something.
Oh,
you know,
my
like the
fucking
sad,
God.
you know,
That is
you know,
horrifying. Why?
well, that's what like most of them are
I
named.
know.
Like
Does it look like a
Guadalupe's
castle?
Tears. I don't know. I didn't know. Like they just told me about it before I came to get you. Like very shortly.
I live
before
down
I
the
came to
road
get
from St. Anne's, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It
Oh,
is
yeah.
so beautiful. I've been to a couple funerals there, and I love a good Catholic funeral.
you.
Sounds horrible, but they
It's the
are
closest to a
gorgeous.
pagan
Look,
funeral
they
you're gonna
are.
find.
It is the closest to a pagan funeral you will find. Catholic funerals are gorgeous. Catholic churches
are.
are gorgeous
They fucking
because
are.
they be going all the fuck out. They're like
Oh
all
my
the
God.
money, all the money.
All the stained glass that you can find.
All the
I
gold.
don't shit out red glass. I don't care.
Is it
Like-
true that and I know we're getting off topic, but I think I've read somewhere that all Catholic altars have some sort of tiny bone or something of a saint?
I have no idea, but what I do know is that like literally your name is on the books as a Catholic.
Mhm.
You're like, if you are a Catholic, like my mom, she was raised Catholic. She was born
Right.
Catholic. She was raised Catholic. They left the church when she was about 7, but they never formally left the church. So on the books, she's still a Catholic.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
you go on the books. Yeah.
My grandmother used to play the organ at the
It's Oregon. Oregon. Like
Oregon.
without the E. Like it's like
The
like
organ
Yeah.
at the Catholic church on my dad's side. Oh, it's gorgeous. But Catholic churches will wear you the fuck out. They up, down, on their knees, up, down. It's like a fuck. I don't know. Have you been?
Yes.
It is
like
up, down.
dude, my friends in high school, like we were not that we were bad people, but we were bad kids. And their parents were Catholic. They were raised Catholic. And which I just don't agree with this. One of the punishments would be like their dad, when we were on spring break, their dad dropped us off at a Catholic church once and was like, go to mass. Like that was their punishment.
That sucks.
And I had to go too because I was their friend. I wasn't Catholic. I was raised Presbyterian, and I've gone to Methodist church and a lot of other churches.
Right.
And I've taken communion in a lot of churches.
Right.
But like
You're not supposed to, but
well, no. Like we do communion in Presbyterian. Like
oh,
that's,
okay. Well,
that's a thing.
I
But
mean,
Catholic, it's not Catholic communion. it's Presbyterian and Methodist communion. Like, it's not the same. I didn't think so. Like, I was like, I am not going up and taking communion. Like, I'm standing in the back of the church because, like, I thought it was like wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
like, because I grew up taking communion. It was my, I love that little cup of grape juice.
And
you
they
keep
have
little
the
cup,
tiny
little
little
rice
crackers.
crackers and put it on your tongue. Actually, like, I went to a lot of churches in Texas. So we had like what I think the ladies just took like round cookie cutters and cut out white bread and then like let it dry overnight.
That's exact. It wasn't the
it
little
wasn't
circles.
Like it wasn't the expensive Catholic
It was
one.
actual
it
like
was
wheat
white
bread.
Yes, we used white bread. Probably Wonder Bread. I don't know. It was the 80s. But I was terrified.
No, I get that because my dad was
thing.
Catholic and he would not take communion at a Christian church because he felt it was wrong because he was Catholic. So
thank you, because I've always felt
totally
weird about it. So many people are like, it's no big deal. And I'm like,
no, it is. It is. Even if you don't believe that way, for them, it is such an intense, important thing.
Well, not just that.
Like,
I mean, I won't say like, because when we took communion, it was an intense, important thing.
Right,
you know, like it's, you are ingesting the body of Christ, you're ingesting the blood of Christ.
Right.
But like, because I wasn't raised Catholic.
Well, when I say for them, I mean Christians. Like the Christians in general. So like it's such an important thing. You don't want to take it with the wrong.
Right. Because like, because like the Catholics, my mom was raised Catholic. So I knew that to take communion in a Catholic church, you had to have your first communion. Right?
Oh God, which so they got the dress.
You get the dress, and you've been studying for years in catechism before you ever get to take your first communion.
Right.
And then you do your first confession. And I was like,
it's kind of like
my religion.
Like,
I was terrified. Right, exactly. It's very much like a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah.
Yes. I think it's boy or girl. That's the difference.
Yeah. Bar mitzvah is boy and bat mitzvah is girl. Right. I think if you're Jewish and you listen to us, please correct me.
But back on the
mother. I just like, I think it's so beautiful the way that they're all connected and like, you know, because you will see so many overlaps.
Well, and you mentioned like when it comes to Earth mothers and you know whatever to represent them, you see a lot of vaginas,
right?
And that's in Christian. That's what there are some vaginas in Christian churches because of Mother Mary, which is why I'm connecting all of it because it's like
last episode
vaginal, like with
check out last episode.
It just makes sense because like also you see these caves. We were just talking about caves. LOL, but seriously, caves like
which is funny because that's where ancient humans would go to escape the wrath of the Sky Father.
Exactly.
Down here on the Earth Mother.
They're like, we're going
because like, we're going into the cave to survive the storm.
Yes, exactly.
I didn't even think about that until you just said that because like that's literally diving further into the vaginal cavities of the Earth Mother to avoid the wrath of the Sky Father.
And
which is crazy. Like I wasn't even trying to go there.
No,
not
you're
saying
so
that dads
right
are always mad. I'm just talking about like spiritually from ancient human perspectives.
A lot of the what do you call them? Sculptures of the Earth Mothers are literally them like holding their vagina open and a baby's crowning or a baby has just fallen out, feeding them on the boob. You know what I mean? And this is everywhere, literally everywhere. Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology. I've seen the holographic. What is it? Holographics, or if it's graphic? No, holographic. That's hieroglyphic.
Hieroglyphics.
The pictures.
Hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics. Yeah, it's weird.
The pictures on the walls. There's literally women and goddesses just popping out kids up like because
fertility.
Exactly. And there was one, I forgot her name. I was going to mention her. She is in Egyptian lore. And she's an Earth Mother, and she has depictions of her just popping out kids. And I cannot think of her name. But again, there's no like real in-depth lore like with Gaia.
Right.
Just because these goddesses were worshipped and acknowledged in all homes.
Yeah, all the time, all over the place. Like they were worshipped in every field at planting and crop time. Like I want to say it was either Yord or Danu that I read about that milk and honey were offered to the field in honor of her on planting days, and harvesting days, for her to bless the crops and whatever, because she is the earth mother that grew the crops for them and that they're harvesting the crops out of. And like, I think that's beautiful, because milk and honey is definitely associated with Mokash as well. And
milk comes from a female cow.
It does.
It's something that they feed their babies.
Yeah. And honey comes from the bees that give us life, literally. And you know, and I love the association of the mother goddess with the honeybee. But also, like, you talk about the vaginal stuff, like all over the place in like Eastern religions, I see imagery that reminds, I'm like, that's a vagina.
Right,
like
literally.
That's a vagina, like 100% clitoris and everything. That is a vagina. And I'm not knocking it. I think it's beautiful, but like, because often it's talking about like reaching, like seeing from the third eye and like reaching that next ascension, that next level. And check out our last episode where we talk about the vagina being the entrance from the second dimension to the third dimension, you know? I saw
a local artist. Her name is Liz. I can't remember her last name.
She does the vagina art that's hanging up in Joplin Avenue sometimes. Yeah, I love her vagina art. Her vagina art is amazing. And her phallic art with mushrooms.
She did. I don't think I've seen her phallic art, but I remember I met her when she really started doing the vaginal art. And she said it was a way for her to take back her feminine power, because she was raised in a very strict Christian church. And the first painting I saw of her, she showed everybody. And it was gorgeous. It was Mary in the shape of vagina in the sky. And from the top of her head, which would be the clitoris, right?
Yeah.
There was blood running down and dripping into the earth. And where it was dripping into the earth was a tree. And it was beautiful. It was truly beautiful. And I think it goes hand in hand, that artwork. I wish I could find it.
I've actually seen other Mother Mary artwork that has been vaginalized, and it is beautiful because like that vaginal passageway is the passageway for life for mammals. Right. So like,
well, not even just mammals. I mean, fuck, eggs come out of the vagina.
Yeah, I mean, true. Yeah, you're not wrong. I was trying not to say too, because like seeds is
that's true.
Like plants, like I was trying not to be too because I never in the last episode explained that little outburst about joking about people and whatever. But as Maddie knows, on my Facebook page, I made a post about just like nature doesn't charge us money, it's free. And like people got fucking triggered. And they talked about the stupidest shit.
That has nothing to do with it.
I know, it's made me lost. Like I've lost so much faith in humanity because of that post. Like at least internet people. I am shocked. Like how are you going to be offended? It did blow up. I got like 2,000 followers out of it.
Oh fuck yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it did blow up.
It did blow up. But like imagine being threatened by the idea of taking care of Mother Earth, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, the Earth Mother is what we're talking about. She has different names in different societies, but Gaia, Mokash, Danu, Bhudevi, Yord, it's all the same. It's Mother Earth. Like Yord's name means earth in Germanic. Like fjord, it's a thing that we learn about in geography class. It's like a peninsula of land. Yeah, like
I learned that from Frozen.
Yeah. And you know, Jord, she is Thor's mother and she is a Norse goddess, but she's not mentioned very much. She's mostly just mentioned in passing. And it's because she's not written about because she's the Mother Earth that we live on. She is actually a giantess as well. Like, you know,
I love a good giantess.
Yeah, like, you know, we talk about
the
Gaia being a Titan, right?
Which is, I guess, a giantess.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, like, it just is a more primordial goddess.
Kaliak, who is also a giantess, which makes sense because
a more primordial goddess.
The mountain.
Right, you know, exactly. That because that's, I mean, and like a lot of these earth goddesses, like especially the Kaliak and Jord, they're associated with mountains and natural earth formations that look like a woman's bosom
or
or
a woman
woman's
sleeping.
womb.
Well,
Or a woman
there was
sleeping, because there was that one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
the island Tahiti or Tahiti. I don't know. It's mentioned in Moana, just because I brought up Frozen, but it is an actual.
Yes, I know what you're talking
It's an
about.
actual island, and it looks like a woman laying
Right.
down, laying, and she is the mother goddess laying in the ocean, you know, and she just watches over everything. I think that's beautiful.
I think that is beautiful.
I love that.
I do. And I love the combination there of the earth and water, like we see with at least Mokash and Danu,
Mhm.
because Danu is associated with fertility and fertile waters as
Mhm.
well. And again, she's like an older goddess. So, you know, there's a lot of thoughts that she was, you know, broken down into other goddesses along the way, which is why there isn't a whole lot that you can find about her. But I know Bhudevi is
the Hindu goddess of the earth, and I can't remember what her name means. I was trying to look that up, but I can't find it. I'm pretty sure it just means goddess of the earth, and she is the wife to one of the avatars of Vishnu. But again, there's not much about her other than she has multiple faces. Like she is also Padma or Lakshmi. I don't know.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm talking
I think Lakshmi,
something like that.
Very.
So she is all like has multiple aspects herself,
much like Vishnu has different aspects.
Yes, and Padma, which I love. I'm going to mention her because she's got two names, and that's the easiest one to motherfucking say. They call her that because out of her palms, the pads of her palms are lotus flowers, and the lotus flowers grow from the mud and the edge of the water, and it's so dirty, and it's so you just feel like you'd get stuck in that mud. But as it pops up, the flowers are out of the dirt, and they are beautiful, and they are clean, and they're not dirty. They grew from the dirt, which they love, because that goes hand in hand with the mother.
Yes. Well, and I love how they grow from the dirt, and they come up through it and exist within the airspace as this beautiful new thing. My lotus just started blooming.
Oh,
nice. In
nice.
my pond. So I was admiring it earlier today. And Roz was like, I'm excited for the yellow one to bloom. And I'm like, I know, but I'm going to appreciate the white one that blooms. It's open and it's beautiful. And in and of itself is like life and wisdom in there. You know, because like there was a little bug that was attracted to the sweetness inside and ventured too far in, and guess he couldn't find his way out again.
Oh no.
But that's part of life, because, you know, the earth mothers do give us life and we revere them and honor them for that. But the earth mothers also show us their duality of creatureness, because the earth gives and the earth takes away.
Exactly. You know? Well, they're the duality, their yin and yang, because it can be beautiful, but it can also cause mass destruction.
Yes, it can be giving of life, or
like a woman.
Yeah. That's why they named hurricanes after us for so long before we bitched and they started naming them after you guys too.
It's not the same. And I remember they just started naming them after me.
Yes,
like,
I know. That's why
couple years.
It was like I don't know, was I a teenager when I realized that all of the hurricanes had women's names?
Well, to be fair, I think I read, and I don't know if I'm right, but I don't, and this is not an Earth Mother, so I'll go back to the topic, but in African lore, or Jamaican, one of the two, the person who makes the hurricanes is an angry goddess. So it makes sense to me.
That makes sense to me.
Female.
Yeah. That does make sense. I feel like maybe that's Calypso.
Oceana. I don't know.
I feel like I did read that as well, though. Like that is very familiar sounding. Like I feel like when I was looking into Calypso is when I learned about that. And I don't know if that's Calypso related or not. And I don't think it is, because I don't think Calypso is an actual
deity.
Well, I was going to say associated with that area. Like I feel like Calypso is out of Greek mythology.
Yes, she is. She's a she can see the future.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah. Anyway, not related to Earth Mother goddesses, but storm goddesses.
Maybe we'll do a whole ass episode on them.
Like storm goddesses.
So this was a really fun episode, I think.
And we hope you all had a happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
That is like, we are recording this the day before Mother's Day, so we are doing this in honor of Mother's Day, and you will be hearing it after Mother's Day, but we hope you have a good one, I guess is my point.
Right. And if you're interested, you can follow us on the socials on Threads, Instagram, and Facebook at Witches Talking Tarot.
We are on the X as Classiest Witches because we are the classiest witches you know. Thanks so much for being our patrons on patreon.com to Victoria,
Pam,
Death by DVD,
and Melissa.
We appreciate you so much. And if you would like to join them and get in spiffy little shout outs and such, you can do so for as little as $1.50 a month. So that is 6 quarters. You probably lose as much in your laundry. So, I mean, why not donate it to a good cause?
Right. Thanks for sitting with us for a spell.
Bye.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Amber.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot.
We are the weirdos in this one.
Like a song, like a Santa snubble. Flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble. Sam.
Wow.